Steve, this is turning into a series, and I tell you, this is better than a sort of soap opera on TV. But it's also, as much as we might try to find that Kiwi humour, it's very, very dark what's going on at the moment. And Kiwis love you. Can I just say that? I get stopped by people all the time who say, just love that guy, Steve Oliver. He's true, he's brave, he's what we need. He's strong and courageous, like it says in your gym. Okay. Let's go with the update. What is happening now? We're in the third week of January 2022. And it's still intense, isn't it?
Yeah, they just keep coming. I mean, we had Worksafe in here last night, and they came through masked up, and you know, we've been instructed by a lawyer not to engage. And you know, I just felt compelled just to talk to them, you know, man to man, about how they're enforcing it, how they sleep at night, and you know, just really just try and, you know, make them see our point of view, you know, and we're, you know, these are humans, you know, and they were uncomfortable. I can tell that it's not sitting right with them as well, 100%. But they, my daughter was actually next door at the dairy next door.
Before we move to that, because the second part is really crucial, but these are thugs, actually. These are government-paid thugs to come and intimidate, and you're not going to be intimidated, and we're going to do updates every time they come in. But what were the words you said? Because you told me on the phone yesterday, and they're such powerful words.
Yeah, I just said, man to man, how do you guys sleep at night? You know, I mean, you guys are part of our community. You know, I mean, how are you enforcing this? You know, how are you enforcing this on the community? I thought we cared about each other. I thought we've been told, you know, don't discriminate, don't bully, and then within a year, that's okay. And you coming into my house, into my gym, and trying to shut me down just for having the community's back. So,
and you reminded them what you're doing. Let's remind the people watching this what you are doing. Who are you helping?
Well, the bottom line is it's mainly the kids. I mean, the adults is a hell of a pressure on adults losing their jobs and under the pump, you know, in the general community. But I feel for kids. You know, kids are being kicked out of their sports, and we've got kids in here that have been kicked out of every sport. You know, they've been national representatives in their sport. They identify with who they are. They've worked hard. You know, they are part of a community, and then that community says you're not good enough because you don't take the jab. And so they're feeling confused, they're feeling let down and disappointed with their lives, and these kids aren't coping. You know, they're self-harming, they're threatening suicide, and I've had parents come in here and such to say, if you close down, I'm not sure my kid's going to make it, you know, so...
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, and that's what I said to the guy. I said, man, we're just here for the community, so... You know, what are you guys doing? You know?
What was their reply, Steve?
Oh, you could see it was definitely hit a chord with him. You know, I mean, these guys are humans, and they are, you know, they're definitely on the wrong side. But that's all I can do is just say, hey, this is what we're doing, and what you're doing is wrong.
The reason for coming out, from my perspective, every time Worksafe comes here, is to highlight to New Zealanders how much this bullying is being driven by this government, being approved of. But it's also to show their tactic seems to be, let's just try and wear Steve down. And the people of New Zealand are not going to let you be worn down. The people of New Zealand love you and support you. And this government's got to know that. So now tell us about your daughter. She leaves after Worksafe have left. They didn't issue any fine.
Yes. No, this is actually while Worksafe were here. We didn't know that they were turning up. They turned up unannounced. Reception was full. I was talking to them, and my daughter had shot off with a couple of my kids next door to get an ice cream, and they saw a couple of car full of police next door, and she could hear my voice in the car park next door. Yeah, so I was on loudspeaker over there while the Worksafe were over here. I don't know, trying to stitch me up. I don't know what they were trying to do, trying to get a reaction out of me so they could come in and you know, try their thing, you know, in an MMA gym. So, yeah, it's entertaining, isn't it?
It's entertaining, it's brutal, and it's not the New Zealand that any decent Kiwi wants.
No.
That is horrific. So a kind of spying on you. So Worksafe, the Worksafe guy was obviously mic'd up, and it was being fed back to the police car. Yeah. This is horrific stuff.
And I'm not sure that's legal. I'm not sure that's legal, that they can record me while I'm unaware.
Have you spoken to your lawyer about that?
No, I haven't really. That issue. There's just so many issues at the moment, so I haven't particularly hit that issue. But there's plenty of issues being talked about.
Steve, I think for me as well this week, it's been a week of having to dig deep and against the horror and against the lies, manipulation, and the bullying. To say I am not going to let them win. Are you feeling the same?
100%, and you know, like in your case, you're just asking questions. You know, you're asking questions about the safety of a vaccine that's in the trial phase for our kids. For a 5-year-old to be called a conspiracy theorist. What's going on? You know, you can't ask a question, and it's to do with the safety of our babies. You know, if you ask a question now, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's the level. That's the level that we're at, and it's pretty scary, to be honest. But there's a lot of good people. Like I said in previous interviews, man, there's just so many people that are supportive, and we just got such a beautiful vein of patriotic, decent Kiwis in this country that it's inspiring, to be honest. Yeah,
it's an amazing dichotomy. People are either going really generous, supportive, really into love and brotherhood and sisterhood, or they're going really dark and brutal and being trolls. But the ones who are good, let's take us back to that. Are you getting lots of messages still?
Yeah, like I said, I was getting a massive amount of messages over Christmas and New Year's, and we're still getting supportive messages every day. And it just breaks your heart to hear the stories behind those messages. But yeah, you know, New Zealanders are good people. You know, our culture is a beautiful culture. Like I said, you know, no one cares what race, what colour, you know, what ethnicity. What doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And that's the New Zealand that I grew up in, and that's the New Zealand I want to keep. I don't want a segregated community that can't stand each other, that can't, you know, don't talk. You know, she's recommending don't talk to your neighbour. I mean, what kind of future is that for our kids? You know.
What are some of the stories that you're getting in? Are they still about jab injuries and split families?
Yeah, the whole lot. Mate, to be honest, it's just numerous stories, but it is a lot of division. That's the one that's been really hitting home lately. There is injuries, you know, there is a lot of people having bad injuries and stuff like that. But the real hard one right now is just division. There's just so much division, you know. People aren't speaking to their parents anymore. They aren't, you know, disown their brother, or, you know, it's unbelievable.
So sad.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, when in history have we, you know, turned up to a Christmas party and had to provide a clean bill of bloods? You know, I want to see your Hep A, Hep B and C, and and HIV before you're able to share a table with me and my family. You know, I mean, and this isn't AIDS. This is a jab over a thing that's to 1 in 1,000 kill rate. You know what I mean? So.
At 7:45 this morning, I was in the car, and I never listen to Radio New Zealand because it just never tells us both sides of the story anymore. But I made the mistake of turning it on, and I caught a bit of an interview with a so-called expert from Otago, which we know Otago science faculty and medical faculty are funded by the Gates Foundation. So this guy, this I think it was a woman, guy, I can't even remember, they're so unmemorable now, was saying, no, it was a man, and he was saying, you know, Omicron, it could mean that you miss a whole week of work. And imagine the disorder in work they have to fill in for your space in work. And I went, this is ridiculous. This is a cold.
Well, we've been locked down for 9 months.
We've been locked down, and thousands of businesses have gone up.
You're worried about a week. You're worried about a week when we haven't been able to go to work for months. There's just no common sense behind this stuff anymore.
It's insane.
It is. If you try and work your way through the narrative and make it make sense, it just on no level does it make sense. You know what I mean?
Have you heard much about Omicron? Because what I've heard from friends in Australia is really mild.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 days.
Yeah, I haven't heard Omicron in specific, but I've heard of COVID and people are just saying, hey, I've had to train at home while I had COVID. They're still training.
We mentioned that earlier in another one.
Yeah.
Steve, what about the gym itself? What's happening with the space? Because you're also having a bit of an assault there, and I'm wondering who's behind this. So your landlords are...
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was the whole, you know, mindset behind our stance was that, hey, we are financially deep in it.
Because of the lockdowns.
Yeah, obviously, because I never missed a payment until the lockdowns, and then through the lockdowns we've suffered, and you know, it's been seriously financially hard. So we have, but our landlords wanted, you know, they didn't come to the party at all, so they wanted the full whack, and then
they wanted to charge you right through the lockdowns.
Yeah.
You're joking.
Yeah. So then,
but this place was completely
empty. We can't have anybody inside. So we've racked up a pretty substantial debt, and they've just come to us and said, you know, if you get out within 2 weeks, we'll waiver that, which is generous. But at the end of the day, we haven't really got any place to go, and you know, our lease isn't up till the end of the year, so if we can't find a place, we'll have to stay, and we'll just have to wear the debt. And and go to court, which was what we were going to do originally anyway.
Because it's not right that you should be paying because of the government's lockdown. That is not right. Could we talk to the landlords themselves? Could you ask the middleman that you talk to and let him know that I would love to interview those landlords about why they're not chipping in and helping a Kiwi business that's helping the community? I would really love that, Steve. So they should actually come to the party. I'm wondering if someone's behind that sort of bullying. Do you think the government could be putting pressure, get these guys out, put more pressure on them that way?
Well, this is just, one in a numerous level of attacks we've had. Like I said, I've had friends approach to say that if they support us in any way, they'll lose their jobs. But from their workplace, I've had our phone redirected to a vaccine hotline. Yeah. I've had, just numerous attacks on many different levels. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised about anything right now.
What we need is mainstream media journalists who are fully paid to be able to do some decent digging
but they're paid for a specific story. So if they wander outside the narrative, it has big effects on their take-home pay. So we'll be waiting a while.
I'll just ask if anybody has any information on this that they can tell us. Any whistleblowers, we're going to need them so much now.
Yes.
We need actually a citizen army of journalists, people filming everywhere, people telling us stories, because this is getting really nasty.
Yeah.
Let's hope that that's not true, but it feels like this might be part of the attack on you.
Yes. I mean, there's good things happening. A lot of the world is waking up to this. Yeah. Pandemic. We're playing pandemic. UK has dropped all its mandates. Spain. I mean, there's country after country is dropping this madness now.
Kazakhstan, they've chased the corrupted politicians practically out of the country.
Well, the final straw there was they weren't able to access their bank accounts unless they were double vax. So, I mean, it just pushes people into a corner. Yeah. And, peaceful people take it upon themselves. It's just, what do they expect? They're pushing people into a situation where they can't access their bank account. It's crazy. It's just absolutely madness. It's just, the whole thing just doesn't make sense at the moment. And we're just trying, day by day, we're just trying to do the right thing for our community, and we'll just see what happens.
What do you see, to end on a positive note, what do you see when those kids come in and they've felt demoralised, they've been kicked out of their rugby team, whatever, and they come here and they start to do their MMA and the jiu-jitsu? What happens?
Yeah, it's just great. And the parents are sitting on the side, there's just smiles all day, and the kids are just being kids, man. It's just a beautiful thing. Big smiles, they're playing around, communicating with each other. I didn't realise what we had until you have the threat of it taken away, and everyone here is just so happy to be here, and it's just such a good vibe right now.
And you've got a very good lawyer in Liz Lambert. She's terrific. You've got some other legal help. So that money that's already been raised is going towards your legal costs to fight all this. Yes. How is that side of things going?
Yeah, I mean, we had a big push. We've got that Give a Little, and it's still pending. We're still trying to jump through hoops and access that money. And
why are they holding that up? What's the reason?
Oh, it's just we've got to come up with all the accounts and quotes and that for legal help to prove what it's for.
That's appalling. I would say don't ever use Give a Little. It seems like the government's been shutting that down as well. It is.
It's just crazy.
It's freezing money for you and for
so Casey. We're really trying hard to jump through and do the right thing there, and hopefully we can access it, but I'm not holding my breath. And we've had a little, we had a bit put into our account, but we just, these lawyers are no joke, and we are.
They cost a lot.
There's 4 lawyers involved, and potentially there's one in there up around $1,000 now. So it is serious, and but it's a serious game we're playing. Because we will be the. Will be the case that shows whether we've got anything, going forward.
You're the test case.
Yes. So if we have a good result, it's going to be great for the country. So we're really putting everything we can into that. So that's ongoing. So like I said, any support that goes 100% towards those lawyers and our fight for just to kill these mandates.
And we will attach your bank account at the end of this interview, and we'll also put it underneath in the thread.
Yeah.
Steve, family-wise, you holding up with all these pressures that you're holding on your strong shoulders?
Yeah, no, the family's great. You know, like I said, I've got a great wife. She's on board 100% and really supportive, and the kids are good and kids are happy. You know what I mean? They come to class every day. You know, they're doing more classes than they've ever done because it's all hands on deck right now, just trying to get it over the line. We don't know who's turning up, so we've got to be here pretty much 100% of the time. Yeah. And so we're living at the gym, and you know, not you know, we sleep in at home, but we're living here pretty much all day. And the kids are, they're loving it. You know, just socialising, and it's just the best time they've had for a long time.
It's hell at the moment, and it feels as if we're kind of at war with our own leadership, as if our leadership is totally betraying the goodness of Kiwis. But you are a warrior, and a lot of Kiwis feel that about you. You're aware how much support you have, I hope. Yeah,
no. Like I said, we've got a beautiful community, and you know, just restores your faith in humanity when you see so many people that are on the same wavelength, and you know, it's not just us. I mean, I'm just here. You know, it wasn't my ambition to be here. We didn't try to be here. Just the way it worked out, and this is my bit, but everyone's doing their bit. Everyone, you know, there's so many people out there that lost their jobs that no one sees. There's so many people that are, you know, really struggling and you know, fighting the good fight that no one hears about. You know what I mean? And it's building really strong, vibrant communities. This whole thing, as hard as it is pushing good people together, and I see that as a real positive. You know?
It's a time we have to really find our character, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's a interesting time to be alive.
We'll keep in touch, Steve. Every time Worksafe come, we're coming to do an update with you.
No, I appreciate it.
And this is the way New Zealand will stand up to tyranny.
Yeah. No, it's changing. Things are changing. The world's waking up. So, you know, just see how long New Zealand is before we catch up.
Thank you, Steve Oliver.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.